23 degrees and slightly overcast here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, but never mind, your daily dose of sunshine is here. Welcome to Sunrise Daily. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf.
Good morning and welcome. I am Kayla Magwa. It's a Friday and an opportunity for us to take a look at everything that happened in this very eventful week.
Indeed, you can say that again, Kayla. But of all the events that we were hoping to talk about, this obituary was not one of them. We heard of the passing of Nigeria Super Eagles, was an ex-Super Eagles footballer now. Do they retain their title like once a Super Eagle, always a Super Eagle?
Ex-Super Eagle.
Well, but this in our hearts is always a Super Eagle. The death was announced yesterday of Super Eagles ex-goalkeeper Peter Rufai, who passed on in his early 60s. Some people say 61, some people say 62, but I imagine that is a slight difference in calculation given that his birthday was just a month away sometime in August. But yes, we heard of his sad passing yesterday, and a lot of Nigerians remember him, especially from my generation. Football was not complete. The Super Eagles squad wasn't complete until we had heard that Peter Rufai was keeping the goalpost. So it was really, really sad to hear that he passed after a brief illness. Tributes have been pouring in, and certainly I believe that we will be keeping tabs, especially on our sports desk for you, how burial arrangements are going to be made and when eventually he will be interred. But Kayla, it is really, really heartbreaking
Indeed,
to hear of the passing of a legend.
I mean, the Mayana.
There
was a calm you felt when you knew Peter Rufai
was
keeping that goalpost. You're like, okay, so we have a chance. Even if our players don't play well, he will block the goals of the opposing team.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a fantastic man. And I had the privilege of actually knowing him in real life. He was a sweet person. He was coaching teams. He used to do a lot of mentorship work for kids and, you know, really spreading the message of football. This game that unites us regardless of our tribe, our religion, how we feel. Once the game is on, everyone is on board, and we kept it going. I miss those days, Maokwe.
Oh, you can.
I miss the days when we knew we had a chance.
Yes.
Because it always feels like we're not qualifying for things right now.
And those were the days in which he played.
Yes.
You know, I
mean,
mean,
we knew we had a chance. Peter Rufai is there. Don't worry.
Our goalpost was safe. But it is what it is. You know, it's the passing of an era. I know that the Nigerian Football Federation will be honoring him one way or the other. And clearly, you know, his teammates miss him. And we will be seeing, as I did say earlier, that we'll be keeping tabs on burial arrangements. It will be interesting to see how it is that Nigerians will be paying tribute. I believe that, you know, certain avenues should be open for those who want to pay their tribute to him. And, you know, we're mentioning him today because the labors of our heroes past must never, is what we're saying, shall never be in vain.
Speaking of tributes, you know, the president actually sent a tribute to Peter Rufai. Yes, he did. You know, and he's recalling the fond memories, the heroic contributions of Peter Rufai in the historic victory of the Super Eagles at the 1994 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia, as the first choice goalkeeper, followed up with Nigeria's equally epoch-making first appearance at the FIFA World Cup competition, WSA 94. So, of course, the president has sent his condolences to the family of Peter Rufai and to all Nigerians, really. We remember him fondly. That's how you keep an image in the minds of Nigerians. Let us remember you for greatness. And it's a beautiful thing, a lovely legacy that he has left for the Nigerian people. And we wish all of his family members, you know, may God grant them the fortitude to bear this loss. We wish we had him for longer.
But hey, God knows best.
God knows best.
God knows best. May his soul rest in peace. I'm just taking a look at some of the visuals that were playing there. That's him at our Channels Kids Cup. These are some of the highlights when we started the Channels Kids Cup. He was there. That's him with the chairman of Channel's Kids Cup.
That's chairman.
Oh, yes, that's Dr. John Momo, you know, remembering very fun times. So those were really, really good days, and we thank him for being a part of our journey here, especially with remembering children. Oh, was that chairman scoring a goal again?
Chairman scored a goal.
That was just a kind word, I believe. Oh, well. Yes, indeed.
Lovely.
Well, so this is some of the memories that we will keep about the legend, Peter Rufai, a.k.a. Dodo Mayana. Well, we move on very swiftly. It's been a very, yeah, we did say that the weather was a little overcast, but I tell you that it's been heating up on the political scene. As you might know, the ADC is now the new platform for the new coalition. But people have been asking, since a lot of the members are coming from, well, most of them, if you look at it very critically, a lot of them are coming from the PDP. People are asking, what exactly is the fate of the PDP today? Will, you know, are they abandoning ship? Are they leaving the party altogether? What is the party going to do, looking at the fact that all of its members, or a majority, let's say some stalwarts within its ranks, are leaving the party to form this coalition? Some of them, we understand, haven't yet resigned their appointment, apart from the key members. So there'll be big questions as to, you know, what their fate will be. But we'll be asking that question of a key stalwart within a chieftain, as a matter of fact, of the People's Democratic Party, who will be joining us shortly. But we're going to play back for you this coalition meeting, which happened on Wednesday, just in case. Memory is beginning to fade somewhat. Well, I understand that that report will be coming to us. Okay, that's it. Those are the visuals coming to us about now. So we might as well just take the report. Thank you.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as well as the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, arrived the venue of the conference by the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Abuja. The hall is filled to capacity with a mix of politicians who were hitherto of different political parties.
Former governor of Edo State.
Proceedings were intermittently interrupted with cheering applause as members of the high table are introduced. The national chairman of the ADC, Mr. Ralph Mwosu, officially hands over leadership to former Senate President David Mark as interim national chairman and Rauf Aregbesola as interim national secretary. The former national chairman of the ADC explains the reasons for his decision to step aside.
We are setting in motion a new way of leadership that is boldly visionary, deeply committed to improving the lives of our people and restoring our country. We don't have any doubt. We don't have any doubt that in demand, we all decided to resign so that he can pedal this canoe and get us to the villa.
Official membership card is presented to the interim national chairman and secretary, symbolizing the official adoption of the ADC as a platform for the opposition coalition.
Thank you very much. This is the part of the coalition.
Let it be known today across Nigeria and beyond, the opposition is united. The platform is APC. The time is now. The mission is clear. Rescue Nigeria, rebuild Nigeria, return power to the people.
The coalition aims to provide a strong unified opposition to the ruling All Progressives Congress and mobilize citizens to vote out the ruling party in 2027.
Well, you heard the chairman, the new interim chairman of the ADC there, Senator David Mark, saying the opposition is united. But is the opposition really united? Those are the key questions we're going to be posing this morning to our guest. Chief Bode George joins us now via Zoom. He is a former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party. Chief, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always my pleasure. You know, if you have to be woken up this early, it shows the commitment you still have for the growth of our great country, Nigeria.
And we appreciate you for that, sir. I'm just going to get quickly to the question. I'm sure you heard your colleague, Senator David Mark, say that the opposition is united. But here he is resigning from the PDP to join the African Democratic Congress, saying this is the new platform. The platform is the African Democratic Congress. Is the opposition really united on this front?
Yeah, well, that's his own definition on their group. I feel really very heartbroken. I feel really very sad because the real Iroko political tree, the PDP, yes, we had crisis. They were part and parcel of the crisis. You know, the most important thing is the Nigerian electorate will decide. And I want them to calm down, do an assessment, and look at, is it because PDP has collapsed, or is it because of personal aggrandizement, or personal ambition, or self-conceitedness? What is driving them to this other party? You know, we had crisis, yes, but I am happy to report to Nigerians that the ability of the leaders to come together, to debate, to discuss, and analyze the crisis, and to come to a conclusion that we will remain united. And the second day we had the meeting, they hopped out. You know, I have been thinking about what will be the reasons for this, and trying to, as a general, retired general, you do an assessment. What is the reason behind all this? You know, my conclusion is very simple. It is nothing but existential imbecility, or sometimes what you call existential docility. What is it? What is it? You are just all going there. This is your father's house that you built, you contributed. The house made you, brought you to limelight. You gained every laurels and recognition by this same your father's house. And because there's a little crisis, is that the cultural thing to do? No. You sit in there. If you have a house that is leaking, do you run out? You are the landlord. Now you are going to start another one. There will be the strong opposition to who? On what platform? On what basis? Do they have a concept? What is the strategy they have? You know,
for
it's
some
a
people,
classless strategy for now.
You've
So
You've just asked the question, sir, saying that what is the strategy? And some people have said that perhaps it's because they know that a number of people might not want to return or defect to the PDP because there are a number of other discontented people within the All Progressives Congress as well, and that there ought to be a platform that would recognize all of this and, you know, bring everyone together to prove a formidable force against the APC come 2027.
Now, does that mean we cannot, the Iroko tree, the political Iroko tree in this country, cannot deal with the people who are there? Because we had our own crisis, we have been able to resolve the crisis. you know, I don't want to go into the depths of how the crisis started, but I can conclusively state here that some of them were part and parcel of the crisis. So
you say, sir, you say, sir, that the crisis is resolved, but is it really? That's the question a number of people are asking, because now that the party's national secretary, which was the bone of contention, the big bone of contention, is back within the party, I mean, and has been accepted by stakeholders within the party, how do you know that the next convention, which is slated for, is it 3 months from now or thereabout, will not cause another problem for the PDP?
Listen, that's why I said this is an Iroko political party. We just didn't start yesterday. Remember how this party was established. Papa Alex Ekweme, may God give him a restful time in his grave. All these guys they set up a procedure. They made they wrote a ground, a system that will resolve the perpetual, perennial problem of this country. You know, when the British left this country, they left us with two evils, tribalism and religious bigotry. In the First Republic, the majority tribes had their way, minority tribes were mere onlookers. That broke down because you can't be a member of an organization and only one group will continue to rule. The same with the Second Republic. So when General Abu Salami was leaving, they got together. This Papa Alex Ekweme, as concerned as he was for the unity of this country, because God, this is a beautiful nation. There is nothing that anybody wants in life that you won't find in Nigeria. Is it the human resource? Is it agriculture? Is it a mineral resource? What is it? Every corner of this country has so much to give. You remember we were the giant of Africa. It is the attitude of people, the docile attitude of people that led us to the bottom of the sea. Now they came together and decided, look, let us cut this Nigeria into 5 geopolitical zones: the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central. One zone. The second zone, Southwest, Southeast, South-South. So you had 6 zones, and they came up with 6 top positions in the land: the president, the vice president, the Senate president, the Speaker of the House, the secretary to the government, and the national chairman of the party. And they made sure that all the odd numbers will be in one zone. In other words, either south or north. And the other odd numbers will be in the other zone. So everybody, whether you are minority or majority, you will go home with one of these 6 to give you that semblance of commitment, of the membership, that we can now turn our country into a nationhood. So,
Chief Ode George,
that was how it all started.
Yes,
now,
Chief, if you can hear me.
It is there in our Constitution.
Yes.
It is there in the Constitution. And we had the last convention. General Buhari has just finished his 8 years. That was all how he started. Then Atiku Abubakar wanted to compete. We said no. A Northerner has just finished 8 years. He has to be in the South. This was the beginning of all the crisis. And my friend, David Mark, was the chairman of that convention. Ayu was the national chairman of the party. I saw the shenanigans. Of course, you cannot do things like that and get away with it. I warned at that time that this will be the beginning of a crisis. We don't know how it will end, but I want to thank the Almighty God that after all the issue of Ayan was just an afterthought. was a small issue.
But George, because of what you just mentioned right now,
we had made we amended our offenses.
Yes,
we are reunited, and we will meet on the field.
I want to be able to talk about this thing you talked about right now, Chief, the zoning issue, which, as you said, was, you called it the shenanigans. You were watching it, and you warned at the time, which is very true. With the movement of Atiku Abubakar to the ADC, do you believe that this zoning issue has been put to rest?
That's their business. We are sorted out ourselves. For the election of 2027, another 4 years, the presidential candidate of PDP must come from the South. 2031, it must return to the North. So when you want to shortcut and you are manipulating things for yourself, it means you have no regard for the corporate image of this country and the corporate image of our party.
Chibode George, I also wanted to be able to get your thoughts on this, because now that you've stated what the party has planned to do, especially with this zoning bone of contention, let's talk a little bit about the Wike factor, because that's also one of the issues that he raised at the time, and in many ways has fueled the situation that we're facing today, or we're looking at today, with the People's Democratic Party. Now, he has stated clearly, even in his media chat yesterday, that he's going to be supporting, well, he says when we get to that bridge, we will cross it. But we remember what happened in 2023, where he was clear and said he wasn't going to support the presidential candidate of his own party. And in many ways, that caused that splinter that we're looking at, that's grown into a chasm right now. So now that we're looking at 2027, is the PDP going to trust Wike to be part of what it does and support whatever presidential candidate you bring forward, knowing that that zoning issue has been sorted out according to you?
You know, let me tell you something. There is no individual in our party that can tell you that he owns this party. That is the beauty of the PDP. You know, there was a time on the APC, the president, Bola Tinubu, said, I own the party. No individual owns our party. It will be a collective decision who will be our presidential candidate. We need to show to the electorate that this party can be trusted. This party has a system that is acceptable to them. Because look, what is the definition of democracy? When you elect people, you are telling them, we trust you. Go and manage the resources of this country for the betterment of Nigerians, not for the betterment of yourself and your wife and your child. No, it is for the betterment of Nigeria and Nigerians. And I am telling you that the concept that was established in our ground norm, our constitution, it is stated there. Section 7, subsection 3C is explicitly explained. There shall be zoning and rotation of elective offices and party offices for purposes of justice, fairness, and equity. We will run away from there. We will go to the field. Those who have committed a hierarchy, I said it so many times, that on both sides, the Atiku side, the Wike side, have crossed the Rubicon. Now, I was shocked. The man who is also the chairman of the disciplinary committee of the party has jumped ship. He's there. And so what we need to do is reassure Nigerians the issue of Wike is just one single issue. He doesn't own this party, for God's sake. He doesn't own it. So you cannot assuage it. Everything Wike did this, Wike said that. He can talk. But at the meeting of the party, the next meeting of the party is the second highest authority in our party. And you wait. If you want to go how did they say it? The lawyers say it now. If he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. We need to convince Nigerians that there's no individualism in the PDP. And that's why
I'd like to ask you, given,
right.
I mean, I can see just how, I mean, you've expressed the fact that you're heartbroken, and I can see it
right.
in terms of how you have expressed your emotions this morning and your feelings towards the defection of some of your members to this platform. Would you say then that this is the beginning, is this the beginning of the end of the PDP as we know it? Or do you think that the PDP will be going after them to woo them back into their fold?
Let me tell you something, young lady. We've seen this before. You know what is called an Iroko tree in the bush? It is the strongest. Its roots are so deep-rooted, no matter the storm, they will weather it. And we have, first of all, the fear of the Almighty God before us. And let me tell you, every time we have meeting, I have this prayer for our party. We say, we thank you, Lord, with all our hearts. We will sing praises to you before our enemies. When we are surrounded by problems, you keep us safe. You oppose our angry enemies and save us by your promises. You will do so many things you have promised. Lord, your love is eternal. Please complete the work that you have started today in Jesus' name. That's the Christian part. The Muslims also have their own. In anything you do in life, you put the fear of God first. This is the way we have run. And that is why, prayers are very powerful. Honesty of purpose, very essential. And I am telling you, and convincing Nigerians that we have come back. Anyanwu is an individual. There were certain crises, the major crisis that started at the convention of the presidential thing we did 2 years ago. And they were not able to resolve it. They have now decided to shift. I would appeal to them because they are now leaving their father's house and trying to build another house. Would they build a new house that would be as solid, as respectable, responsible, reliable, dependable as the Iroko tree in this country? They are yet to come up with what doctrine are they going to use in 2 years?
Chief George, while you ask these questions, there are other questions to be asked because Vice President Atiku Abubakar 2 or 3 days ago, had a meeting with this new coalition members, and he was inviting other members of, the opposition parties to this broad coalition. A lot of people felt that he was inviting his brothers and sisters in the PDP to join them there. I'm uncertain. Are you ruling out a collaboration of some sort? Because it would seem that clearly there's one mission right now to unseat the APC in 2027. Absolutely. Are you ruling out any collaboration between yourself, that's the PDP, and this new platform, the Alliance, the African Democratic Congress?
The PDP never closes its doors. It's like a police station. People can come, people will go. If you still believe in the doctrine, as stated by the founding fathers, you stick on there. We will accept you. Or many of these people you are talking about now had walked out of the PDP before. The PDP collapsed. It didn't collapse. When they got to where they were going, they found out that it is better to stay where you are because we have defined goals, we have defined roles, we had defined commitment. And they came back, we accepted them. We don't drive people. If they want to join our team, they can come back. And then all we are saying is, we will not allow any individual to manipulate the stipulated guidelines as stated in the constitution of our party. It is not responsible. That's why I called it existential imbecility. What they are doing. This is the party that built you, that made you, that mentored you. Do you put a hammer to your father's house? You say you must collapse. You are going to have your own. Where's your root? Where's your root? What did we campaign for? 16 years we managed this country. Go and look at the economic indices during our time and compare those economic indices, these Nigerian economic indices today, since Buhari's time till today, with the time we were there in government. I am appealing to them. Let them take a cursory look, do a very strong introspection and look at it and conclude in their minds that is it personal ambition? Is it personal aggrandizement? Or what is it that is driving you? At the age at which you are, you are the old man that these younger generations must look for. A rolling stone gathers no moss.
You know, Chief, something struck me when I listened to Senator David Mark in his last remarks. So he said that their mission is clear: rescue Nigeria, rebuild Nigeria, return power to the people. Power to the people has been the slogan of the PDP for as long as I can remember. I think after a while they started saying power. But power to the people has been the slogan of the PDP. And I was wondering, is that, are they saying that the ADC is going to be the platform through which they return power to the PDP? I was unclear, but, you know, that was what came to my mind. Just reading those lines. So are you saying then that you see no connection between your party and this new African Democratic Congress? Are you washing your hands as a member of the PDP of it?
You know, you can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. As stated in the Holy Book, you either serve A or you serve B. To say you are in A and in B is a fallacy. The slogan of our party since its inception was to utilize, to manage the resources of this nation for the benefit of the people. The centerpiece of our operation, of our commitment, is to serve Nigerians, to make use of to manage the resources of this country for the benefit of the people. I have traversed the length and breadth of this country. There is no village you will go that you will find one PDP or the other. So if you have differences, and any organization will have their differences, if you are not able to come together to discuss, to debate, and come to a fruition, then you are not worthy to be a party or an organization. And I'm telling you, yes, we have the crisis. Even the Almighty God told us that the journey of life, there will be tribulations, there will be trials. But if you have a strong faith in Him, you will triumph. And that is why I am saying it is a resurrection of the party that was carried out on a unique date, June 30th, the half of the first half of this year. We have resurrected this party. We have learned our lesson, and we are going to move forward to get stronger, that the mistakes of the past will not be allowed to repeat itself. And, you know, young lady, let me tell you this. The man who conceptualized, who brought about and established this great Iroko political party, Papa Les Ekweme, he contested 2 times for presidency. He didn't win. He didn't bring down the roof. He remained a solid member till he passed on. So, for no matter how the history of this country will be written, the concept that he brought and sold to all Nigerians that, like I told you, the issue of two evils left behind by the British, tribalism and religious bigotry. I have thought about it, I've looked about it. What have the two things got to do with the price of milk? The day you appoint, did you tell God you want to go to ALP?
We've talked about quite a number of issues and how the PDP is getting over those issues. Right. One issue that we haven't talked about is the office of the acting national chairman. What are your thoughts on that particular matter, and how should that be sorted going forward?
There is no problem. We have a system. The elected national chairman bolted because we want him. I spent 6 hours with him telling him, okay, presidential candidate has emerged from the north. You have to resign. You told us you will resign. I went to his house from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. He was telling me, no, he wasn't going to resign. I said, you are creating a monumental crisis that you will not be able to handle. You are destabilizing the concept as envisaged and enshrined by the founding fathers. What happened? He bolted, and that will be seen. There is a procedure. Right now, we have had this next meeting. I was very pleased that they had signed a letter requesting that the next NEC will be July 23rd, this month. At that point, we are planning for our national convention, and there will be a zoning committee before the national convention. It is at that national convention, first of all, the zoning will reassign the positions in the party, all right?
Okay.
And the positions of elective group, all right? Because there are two groups, the elective positions and the party managers. Once we have finished that, the next thing is we go to the national convention to elect new managers. If IU didn't run away, he knew that there is no way by which the presidential candidate and the chairman of the party can be in the same zone. That was the beginning of the crisis. And everybody is behaving as if they forgot it. They are pretending that they are forgotten.
Chief, you say,
yes,
you say that matters have already been resolved within your party, and you say that the doors of the PDP are always open. So we will be waiting to see, just how the PDP navigates this new development with the ADC, and it certainly will keep tabs with you as they come along. We have to thank you very much for joining us this morning and expressing what it is you feel about the ADC. Thank you so much for joining us, Chief.
It's my pleasure too. Just before I leave, just allow me this. Because of what they had done, I am appealing to them to have an introspection, to forget about personal ambition. Let us make this nation the giant of Africa that it was. Where the ship of state is drifting, and we don't want it to go down.
I'm sure that they would have heard you, Chief. We have to thank you once more. Chief Bode George is the former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party.
Thank you very much. You have a beautiful and wonderful weekend. We can send you some sunshine from Lagos.
Thank you, Chief. We'll be looking forward to that. Well, we'll take a break at this moment, and we'll be back shortly. In just a moment, staying on political developments. Please stay with us. Well, I did promise that we were staying on political matters, and we're bringing another perspective right now. Mr. Laolu Akonde joins us. He is the lead anchor of Inside Sources and also a former presidential spokesperson. Mr. Akonde, I'm sure you must have been watching very intently, the activities of this week. Were you as befuddled as we were as to what exactly was the status of the members who had just gone to form or join the ADC? Were you wondering if you know, they had abandoned their ship, or were they still members of the PDP and the APC? Because we saw quite a number of people, former APC stalwarts there as well. What was your make of this new coalition under the ADC?
Well, so as to the membership, I think people like Amechi, Malami, and Aregbesola are very clear that they have left APC. Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar haven't quite made any public announcement of them leaving.
Any categorical statement?
Any categorical statement. As a matter of fact, the factional chairman of Labour Party has given Peter Obi, I think, 48 hours, you know, to make up his mind. So, yeah, so that is still quite a little puzzle. But what I think has happened is that now we have a bit of a glimmer of hope that there can be a good opposition in Nigeria's politics, because it's going to help the system. First of all, it's going to increase accountability, and then it's going to force the people in government to become more transparent, because if you have a strong voice in the opposition, they will raise important issues that government will be compelled to respond to. So to that extent, the fact that opposition is good for democracy, this is a good development in my view. And if you look at the response of the APC, it's shown a bit of being jittery, you know, and panicky, you know, which I find to be quite befuddling. They should welcome opposition.
Has it been jittery? They seem to have dismissed,
well, look, so,
and saying it's just aggrieved politicians, you know?
So the question is, what were they when the folks who are in government now were in opposition? Were they also aggrieved at that time? So saying they are aggrieved, or using language such as they want to use a forceful act, that's just showing that, you know, you guys are jittery, and it's unnecessary. What they ought to do is to say, we welcome this opposition, you know, that's going to help our country, and we're going to show that we are the better part.
So let's talk about this opposition.
Right.
This African Democratic Congress.
Now,
there are the people who were in the party before. We saw Mr. Dumebi speaking up recently. They said they're going to carry out litigation. They don't believe that these people came in the right way. I want you to be able to speak to that, because that's a lingering issue that they would have to deal with in the next few days. And then secondly, there's a thought process out there that Peter Obi is being used, because Peter Obi has said that he is going to run. Right. He has indicated that he's going to run for president. But we also know that Atiku Abubakar really would not, we don't know how that's going to work out. So who's going to shift for who? And how is David Mark going to navigate the many interests that have come into this party at the same time as we look at 2027?
Okay, I mean, first, the question of the guy who was the presidential candidate of ADC before is a non-starter. You know, I mean, look, where was he? You know, I mean, look at what Peter Obi has done. At least after the election, he stood there, he kept showing up, you know, even though he can't manage his party, but he was out there. This Dumebi guy just disappeared and then comes around now. I don't think it's going to make any impact. But let's talk to, besides the fact that they said he's even been suspended or even expelled previously. But to the second question, which what's the second question?
The ambitions of everyone coming in. We're looking at Peter Obi and Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar.
Exactly. So and that's the challenge. That's the challenge of this opposition. Are they going to be able to remain together? That's the big question, because we know that Amechi wants to be president. You know, Peter Obi wants to be president, and Atiku Abubakar wants to be president. So those are the three main forces. Who knows? Maybe there are other people there who wants to be president. So that is going to be the greatest challenge of this coalition. When the APC were forming, everybody knew clearly that this is something between the people of Buhari in the north and the people of Tinubu in the southwest. And Tinubu was very clear that, look, let this thing go first to the south, to the north, for Buhari. And so that helped the cohesion of the party. Now, they don't have that until we can see that they commit themselves in a serious way to say that, look, we're going to have a fair process, and whoever emerges is going to be supported. We don't have that now. There's still quite a bit of stuff going on.
I want to be able to, the last thing that I think they will have to deal with is the perception issue.
Yeah.
And that was something we see a lot of people pushing narratives about, oh, old, recycled, overused politicians. This is the old generation. These are the same people. How are they going to handle that perception in your view?
All of them are old.
There's nothing they can do about that
APC
perception.
and the new guys, look, these guys are the same, really. We have lost the ideological center or base in Nigeria's politics. So what we have is the same set in terms of character and their behavior. They are the same. The only difference that somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown is that he has a superior strategy. He understands this game more than the rest of them. So you can say today that he is the owner of the game, but that doesn't mean that he's not vulnerable. He's also vulnerable because so far he has not shown in government that he can actually deliver the goods. You know, I still give him another 2 years, you know, because if he starts today, he can still get things done. But we haven't seen, it is not what he has represented that we are seeing in government. Look, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, as president, suspended an elected governor and the assembly. That is completely, totally undemocratic, and it destroys his reputation as a democratic person. So we haven't seen so much of what we thought it was in government. So they're all the same, you know, until we are proven otherwise. And so we are giving the benefit of doubt to the coalition, just like we're giving the benefit of doubt to the APC. We are saying that we're APC, you still have 2 years, let's see what you're going to do. And so coalition people, okay, let's see whether you know what you ought to do. And we haven't heard a lot from them in terms of what they're going to do. You know, we've not had, you know, so what are the issues? What kind of tendency are you going to push? Is it going to be welfare for Nigeria? What is it that you want to do differently? We haven't seen that. But like I said, these guys are the same. Nigerians should shine their eyes.
And we clearly know that the forthcoming days will certainly be very interesting for political watchers. Mr. Laolakonde, we have to thank you for coming on the program this morning. Interesting hat, by the way. Like I've seen one this morning. He's a former presidential aide and also the presenter of Inside Sources. Well, that's where we wrap up this beautiful Friday morning. We did promise you sunshine. I hope it came shining through the program this morning. Never mind what the weather says outside there. We wish you a great weekend. Have a great weekend. I keep thinking about sunshine. Our sunshine will be back next week. I'll see you then. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm Kayla Magwa.